And I am your host, Raj Anderson, Executive Life Coach and Coach Assessor. And of course, I'm delighted to be here with John Andrew Williams, who is the founder of Coach Training EDU. How are you, John?
Good, good. I'm getting the other Zoom queued up.
Perfect. Because we're doing part two of Charlene, the demo today, aren't we?
Part two, yeah. And then I realized, like, future ones will probably jump around a little bit more, but this one, I think we're just going to listen all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited. Should we get into it?
Let's jump in. Let's jump in. And then I need to get the volume up too on this, so we'll see what I can do. Actually, like this. Oh, that should work. Okay, here we go. So this is the 9-minute mark, and we'll pick it up.
What happens if you just put this decision down completely?
Okay, let's get here. I'll go back like 20 seconds. So this is the 8:37.
Honestly.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty confident. She also believes there are no such thing as like, there's no wrong, there's no absolutes, in life. So just me being me in either decision is enough.
Mm-hmm.
She's pretty wise.
What happens if you just put this decision down completely? Yeah, so what happens.
God, you just saying that made me feel so much better. Why am I even thinking about it right now?
Yeah, that's why.
Why? It may not even happen. That's the thing. Like the way hiring works in this place, it could be a year. Oh my God, I feel so much better already. It's healthy to remember I have time. I'm not committing to anything anytime soon. And information is information. Like every day I gather more. I learn more about the job. I learn more about the people I'd be working with. So maybe that anxiety will like relax over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. My heart rate just went down.
Yeah, mine too.
Incredible, right? Just saying it out loud. I don't have to make a decision anytime soon. Let's just wait and see.
Yeah. Where else do you do this in your life?
Not many
Let's
places.
stop for a moment, John. Lovely.
It only pops up with work decisions like.
Okay.
So I love that question, that broader question that you just asked. Yeah, I'm curious as I'm listening to you. You asked the question, what happens if you just put this decision down completely?
Yeah.
And we just see all that shift in her energy. Yet, where did that question come from for you?
It felt like we were getting too close to it. Like it just felt like it started to feel heavy. And it didn't need to feel heavy because it's between two positive choices. And then it just hit me like, why are we even here? You don't even need to decide this. And that's where I came from.
And the relief she felt from responding to that question.
I mean, this is an example, I think, of what happens when this is where the value of a coach really comes into play. Because in my own life, our lives, I find, me myself included, the mental emotional patterns are pretty regular. Like there's a pretty systematic, like this is how, when this topic comes up, this is how I think about it. This is how I process it emotionally. This is, this is the beginning, the system, the outcome. Very, 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 very smooth. And that can be used to advantage. I mean, the idea of, having let's say a resilience gratitude, workout that you put yourself through, or certain songs you listen to get yourself hyped up. Yeah, I mean, we have highly tuned mental emotional patterns. What I'm doing here with Charlene is I'm breaking it for her. I'm breaking this mental emotional pattern simply by asking, what happens if you just put it down completely? That's not part of the pattern. We broke it.
Is that what brought the curiosity for you in terms of where else do you do this in life?
Yeah, I was trying to put her back in the center of it. I liked it. I found I found myself listening. I want to go a little bit more into the relief. Where's the relief? Where do you feel it in your body? Like, I want to explore it. I feel like I think that would show up on an MCC assessment as a missed. I know it would. It would show up as a missed opportunity. Like, I know what my MCC coach would say. Both of them would say that. And yeah, that's where I get back to it, but I think it would have been interesting to do that in the moment. From a PCC level, yeah, this still is well within that range. I also like my pausing on this one. My me too. Like, are you kidding? Like, I'm just having fun. I'm so relaxed. I am her at this moment. Like, I am so with her on the other side of the phone right now, or video. Yeah, I'm with her pretty intense at this point.
You are, and you can feel that. You can feel that relaxed energy and that bit of humor and the rapport there. Let's keep listening, John.
Keep it going. Let's keep it going. We might need to jump ahead a little bit. We'll see. I might jump a
And new
little.
opportunities I get excited about. Yeah.
Oh, it feels to me like almost like a delicious struggle in some ways. Like what was the lure that got you into it? You know, that got you in there.
That's a good question. So I love new opportunities. I love creating things from scratch. I change jobs every 2 or 3 years. And the fact that my office is offering something new is very exciting to me. And I jumped right in 2 feet, created it, loved it. Just don't know if I want to do it long term.
It feels like you have such a confidence in your internal ability to handle whatever happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you want to do with that?
Everything.
Yes, I feel it.
I want to do it all. I want to take the job for a while, and then when I'm tired of it, find something new. And then yeah, I love opportunity, and I'll jump on any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also love setting other people up for success. Yeah. So creating the position, laying the groundwork, and then handing it over feels so good. Just saying, go, make this your own now because I've laid the groundwork.
What do you want to call this concept for you? Like, you know, your personal name for this procedure.
So it doesn't exactly match up, but I was just looking at Clifton Strength, and you know that, right? Have you ever seen Woo Woo?
Yes. Yes.
I don't even know what it means in Clifton Strength, but I want to call laying the groundwork my woo woo.
Your
Woo woo.
Your woo woo.
Yeah. That just popped into my head. My woo woo. I do the woo woo and then hand it over.
That is fun. I mean, it's good to have clarity on your professional, magic, right?
Struggling. I don't know if you can see it, but I
What's happening there, John?
don't like the name Woo Woo for her right now. I'm voting on it internally. I think the name Woo Woo, I think she's gonna run into problems with it later if she uses it as a client. I think yeah. I don't think it accurately captures what I think I don't think it accurately captures what I find the most compelling thing of um what she said about empowering other people in this space. I mean, I feel like it's not so much a woo like or like magic or some mystical thing as much as, or it's more like this is this is her superpower. Like this is what she says it, and you hear her say it, and you think, yeah, this is what she was born to do. And I don't know, woo woo feels, I mean, it's a name, it works, but I'm like processing it for her in some odd way. And I'm just making all this up. If I were at my very best coaching, or if I were for a redo of this, I probably just would have gone with it more and just not stumbled over it. I don't know. It's so hard to do sometimes in the driver's seat.
Yeah, you did manage to stay curious, even though you said you're having that internal struggle. You haven't said out loud to her, "Oh no, it shouldn't be like woo woo doesn't
Not
work."
yet. Not yet. I don't think I go that far, but I'm like, hey, let's dig a little more and get to like the thing of it, because I think what it does, I mean, let's say, from just a pure business professional standpoint, what she's basically describing is like the ideal leader, like someone who's able to set someone up, go in there, create a system, and then set someone else up for success. It's what all leaders, as well myself included, like it's what people strive to do. And if she does it on the regular, it's astounding to me just for someone who can do this on the regular and then not completely own it professionally. Yeah, that's the other thing I'm struggling with. It's like, what you just described perfection. That's amazing. Like, she worked and she does really important work in this world. That work needs this kind of person. All those things are happening below the surface. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm curious too. The impact of labeling it that, where might she be diminishing her value by the labels that she's giving things also. So what might you have done differently in that moment?
I think I go with it. I think this is part of where myself as a coach, where I sometimes, like when I introduce a lot of play into a session, sometimes it does get playful, and I think there's benefits to it. And then other times I don't know, and I don't think I have anything like, there's nothing yet that I think, oh, this is not great. I just know I'm struggling internally as a coach, and it's good. It's not, I don't think I make any big errors, but shall we continue from there? See what
Yeah.
happens. All right.
Yeah.
What are it's an interesting question popping in my head, but it's there. What are the downsides, or how do you mitigate the downsides to this procedure, the woo-woo?
I just adopt it and go with it. I'm like, all right, we'll take it.
I'm just, I'm put on my business hat when I answer this question.
So good, right?
Okay, but I set expectations very clearly at the beginning. I am very deliberate in how I communicate what I am willing to do and what I don't want to do. And I don't always stick to that. I'm very flexible and adaptable, and I am a company man, like I'll do what's needed, but I do set expectations at the very beginning. So I think that's how I mitigate the negatives with others or in the program. But maybe the question is, how do I mitigate the negative to myself?
Yeah.
She's doing very generous clienting.
What are the negatives? Maybe that's the question. Never becoming an expert in something. Feeling like I leave people hanging, like I am right now with this decision. That's hard to deal with. I don't like that feeling. How do I mitigate those? I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm struggling with.
Feels like there's something here, and I'm not sure. You know, it's just like the spidey sense is tingling a little bit, but I think the coaching direction is more of how do you want to use the downside? Or how do you want to use how do you want to use even the mitigating to further the goals of what you're after?
Wow.
How are those useful?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her really internal right now. And I think I got her there. I really like this question. How are you even using the downsides to a process like this to further the goal of what you were trying to accomplish? So
Yeah.
cool.
Because I'm also curious there about there is that dip in energy, isn't there? That's first when you asked the question a moment ago. She was delighted. You know, she was very delighted. Her energy was up. You know, she's looking at naming it when she came up with the woo-woo part. And now we're here and she's deep in concentration. We almost felt like a bit of an energy dip. And she referenced leaving people hanging. So I'm curious about that. And then just making a note, right? Right at the beginning, some words that she uses sometimes that I'm curious about. She used bragging right at the beginning. And she's talking about leaving people hanging, and she referenced shallow somewhere. So I'm just curious about some of those things as well. Let's leave that there for now. But it's just things that
Yeah,
I
I
was
agree.
observing.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is an interesting place for me to take it as a coach. You know, and I'm not sure. It's like, oh, I'm introducing, but I am, as a coach, it feels like I'm actively going for lower energy here. I think I'm going for more of an internal, like what's really here. And I can't shake this sense. I mean, mention I can't shake this sense that there's something here for her. I can't, it's just in the, yeah, we'll see where we get there.
Yeah.
I think it goes to arranging for others to take the lead. Like I set other people up to lead. I'm kind of a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, in not just this sense, but in like the office work sense or within the team, I'm the arranger and the cheerleader, and I enable others. So the negatives that were listed, how do I mitigate the bad stuff? I use that to set other people up, really.
Yeah.
To set the team up for success.
Yeah.
There's a shift.
Yeah, I see it too. I see what you're saying. It feels like taking the known limitations and shifting them to, not optimizing them, but not optimisting them away. You know, be like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to magically, if we ignore it, it just disappears, hopefully. But just say, yeah, these limits are here. Let's actually use them.
Yeah, Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a
What do you
nice
want to call
one.
this? I feel like we got a concept. Like, let's get a handle. Yeah, let's grab this one. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds a little negative, but it's also kind of funny, but maybe like the doomsday prepper. It's like the I don't like the word arranger, but the doomsday prepper. Oh, doomsday is so horrible. Wait, let me think of another word. We'll just call it the DD prepper. We'll leave the word doom out of it. DD prepper.
Yeah, it's like the doom prepper. Like, you know, like okay, like this could crash and burn, but let's use the negative as guard, you know, almost a tool, like a structure in an odd way. Yeah.
Like contingency planning almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It makes it real.
Those like are almost like it goes very much back in the logistics space. Like mindful logistics, which is a completely different part of the brain from like the heart. Like this connects as humans, like relational. How are you doing as a human? What's the connection between what's the bridge between those two?
There we go.
Between what two?
The logistics of using the limitations as tools in one space, and then the heart space of connecting and relational, connecting to humans as humans.
There we go.
Operational intuitiveness.
She got there.
I think we just created something, John.
Wow, it even has like motion, like it even has like a body movement.
I'm roughing it down. I'm writing it down. Operational intuitiveness. Okay, that's a good one. I get OI. We already have an acronym too.
What's your OI quotient?
Yeah. Needs a graph now. Mhm. How do I use it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. I feel like I just made my expertise. I feel like I can write Charlene Feltley, operational intuitiveness. That's my tag.
I think we need to stop here, John. That's pretty huge what's happening there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel listening back to that?
I knew there was something there for her. And it's amazing how I kept going for a name. And we got one. And I think it's a very strong one. And I think it accurately describes what she's up to, her brilliance. It's something that I think, yeah, operation intuitiveness. I mean, it's just sweet. And I know she's going to use it. So essentially what we're doing is exploring her business genius. And now we have a name for it. She has clarity on what she's really good at. And so when she approaches this position, she might even say, hey, this is my goal. This is what I will try to do. These are known limitations, and I'm really awesome at operational intuitiveness. It's almost like she's laid out a business plan, and that this session has laid out the case for her professional identity moving forward. Yeah, I feel really good listening to this.
How did you know that you needed to go for a name? Like, what was it within you?
Great question. I'm not sure. I went for a name 3 times in this one, which is a little unusual for me. Once, sure. I mean, it's a really sweet thing to do. Once you have an insight, hey, let's name this one, you know, but 3 times in 21 minutes, that's a lot of name seeking. I don't know, Raj. I don't know. I also don't know. There's 30 seconds left. You want to catch it? And then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. And then I've got a few other observations to share. Yeah,
All
let's
right,
do
sweet.
that.
We did really well.
Oh, I asked her, how did we do on the session agenda?
I let go pretty quickly of the decision, and it became something to help guide my decision. So I I don't have to make any sort of choice right now, but I have some meat and potatoes to take in as I make that decision when it comes time.
I stopped it there. I don't know why, but
Firstly,
we talked more, but
beautiful.
you know what I mean. That's the end of the session.
Yeah. And that's 20 minutes.
20
So I know
minutes.
we did this in 2 parts, but you demonstrated, how you can set the agenda, get deep with exploration, and then that wrap up there as well. I do want to applaud you again, John, on the way you bring in that humor and that energy. So that kind of flow, the fun, she was bouncing off you, but you were also there with her energy, right? And the pause you hold when she's deep in concentration, it's kind of, you make it look effortless the way you move through that.
Yeah, thanks, Raj. I mean, part of it is I feel like my processor is just not that fast sometimes. I'm like, I'm going to get there. I'm giving myself time. It's not, yeah, I'm not listening, thinking of the next question, put it that way. Like I'm listening, I'm just listening. And it's my turn to talk. Okay, hold on. That's it. Okay. And like literally that's what's happening in my head.
So coaches that are listening, take that with you. John's just said, he doesn't have the question ready. He is processing, and then you use that pause. John is using that pause to dig into that curiosity. Because often there's so much pressure, isn't there, for coaches of feeling, like, let's line up the next question.
Things that help is having a couple questions in your back pocket, like what are you learning? What's the name for that? If it's an insight, what's the name for the insight? A couple questions you can go to, and give you the confidence to just listen. Because then in my early coaching, I just would sit there and go, I don't even know the next question. I'm panicking. I don't know. I'm a bad coach. This process is horrible. You know what I mean? The usual.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Oh gosh. But now it's almost like there's none of that left. Yeah. That's a journey. You don't go backwards on it. Once you get comfortable with it, you're just comfy with it.
Yeah. And there's that reminder of the 3 trusts as well, isn't it? Trust yourself, trust the process, and trust the client. I also saw you use a couple of different things in there. You were acknowledging, but there was almost championing that was happening. If we think about tools, because you were like, we got it, we got the concept. And she was cheering with that as well. You also demonstrated on more than one occasion the way you would use kind of playing something back, paraphrasing, but you weren't just doing that. At times you would let it land. She said one word, absolutely, and then you asked her a curious question. I just wanted to kind of point that out to coaches that are listening that may be unsure of how they play something back or how they paraphrase. Like, what would you add to that in the technique that you use, John?
Yeah, I think I was a little wordy towards the end, a little more wordy than I would have liked. I thought I did okay. And it wasn't cringy. It just was a little bit more than I feel like I would have wanted. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I rode that line of maybe talking too much towards the end there. I'm generally not a huge fan of paraphrase. I feel like I wanted to set up, I felt like I know I had the idea in my mind, like I could see it, and I wanted to make sure I could set it up well. And that's why I went for what I did. That's why I went for what I went for. If there's a way to do that more quickly, maybe, I don't know.
So what would you have reined it in a bit, asked a question sooner?
Probably, yeah. I think I was giving myself time to wrap my own mind around it, and I could see it, I could feel it, I could feel her. It's odd when you can feel the tangibility of someone else's thought and structure and process, and then you can almost see. It's almost like you see it in physical space. And so the question came from, well, what's the bridge between those two different spaces? You know, what's the bridge between, oh, this is logistics, this is, I know how to get things, I know how to create a system that outlines what needs to get done, and then, oh, I also know how to connect with humans as people. I mean, I'm in that room, and there are two things happening. Like, what's the middle part? I make like even like a hand thing, like, you know, it's there's a physicality to thought that I think as a coach, if you can get there, it adds an element of you just feel like, yeah, like this is good. This is going to work.
Yeah. So I would encourage coaches that are listening that perhaps if you are someone who's a bit wordier anyway, continue to practice short, powerful questions. I think, John, you're very experienced, so you do catch yourself and you will add that curious question in there. I think it's being mindful of some of those things for all of us, because that can become a habit, can't it, as well? So how do we remain curious and hand it back to the coachee? So what else would you like to share with coaches that are listening today as we wrap up?
More to come. I think I have 10 demos scheduled in the next 2 weeks. We weren't sure
10.
when yeah, 10. We weren't sure when we were talking about this if we'd have enough people to volunteer to be clients. And that seems funny now.
That's fantastic, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we got more to come. I have to figure out which ones, and then we'll try to get to them quicker. You know, I mean, I might jump around a little bit more, and but I've got some stuff. You know, I got some stuff to show. And thank you, Raj. It's really fun to do these, and I feel like I'm having a really good time doing it, and it's an honor to share this profession with people. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of it. And if you have any questions, let us know. We might even have like a live question aspect to this. Who knows? We can start having some more fun with these things.
Sounds great. Thank you for sharing your coaching with us, John, as well. I'm learning a lot. I am deep in curiosity. And one of the biggest gifts I'm taking away today is as I listen to you, is, as I said, the ease and the flow. And I think that reminder for everyone is trusting yourself, letting go, use that pause in that way. So, okay, great stuff. We will have more demos to come. So we will see you all next week.
Yes. Thanks, Raj.